The key to success in today's labor market is having correct information. I am Carnell Davis, Employment and Training Director for Mobile Community Action, your host for Employment Outlook 86. Employment Outlook 86 provides you current information regarding employment and educational opportunities in our local labor market. We at Mobile Community Action have found that a large segment of the unemployed in this community is unemployed not due to a lack of desire, experience, skills, and training, but rather due to a lack of information regarding employment opportunities available. So if you're in the job market, get a pen or pencil handy. You may hear of information that you can pursue. School will be out in a few weeks, and many students will seek employment or other activities to pass the summer months. On tonight's segment of Employment Outlook, we will focus on two institutions and their projects and activities designed for the youth during the summer months. We have with us as special guest Mr. Marcine Chatman, who is Special Services Director at Bishop State Junior College, and he's also Project Administrator for the National Youth Sports Program. Also joining us tonight is Ms. Susan Hoffman, who is Director of the University of South Alabama Youth Program. She's with the School of Continuing Education and to discuss the USA Youth Programs. Joining me is Ms. Brenda Ross, co-host, and Ms. Ross has some very special information and job announcements for you later in the show. Before we begin our discussion, we would like to remind you that we are live and that we do encourage your phone calls. If you have any questions or comments of our guests, feel free to give us a call here at Blab. The number is 471-3700. Mr. Chatman, we'll start our discussion with you tonight. What is the National Youth Sports Program?
The National Youth Sports Program is a program that provides a variety of sports activities and enrichment activities for disadvantaged youth in Mobile County.
Okay, in the introduction I mentioned that you are the Special Services Director at Bishop State. How long has the National Youth Sports Program been administered at Bishop State, and how is this project funded?
The National Youth Sports Program has been at Bishop State for the last 9 years, and this is the 10th year that we will be going into the program. In addition, the program is funded through the National Collegiate Athletic Association and the Department of Health and Human Services.
Okay.
This is where.
What age group is eligible for the National Youth Sports Program? Who is eligible, and how much does the program cost?
Well, the program, National Youth Sports Program, is a program designed for disadvantaged youth from 10 to 16 years of age. There is no fee involved in this program. So a kid can start in the program from 10 years and stay until he's 16 years old and continuously.
Okay. Ms. Hoffman, what exactly is the University of South Alabama Youth Program, and what is the purpose of your project?
The University of South Alabama Youth Program is a program for young people. We have classes that are practical, things like typing. We have classes that are a lot of fun, like art. And we try to complement and enrich the academic lives of our children. We want to make education fun. We want them to find out that learning is a real challenge and a pleasure.
Ms. Hoffman, how old is the program and how has it changed since its inception?
Okay. The program was started back in September of 1985. We started it on Saturday mornings and primarily grades about 4 through 12 at that time. As we've grown, we've doubled the number of classes that we're offering. We have much greater variety than we had when we started. And we've increased those numbers of calls and the numbers of brochures at least fivefold in that time. So the program is, it used to be that someone would call me and say, I've heard something about a youth program. Could you tell me? I mean, I've called 3 numbers. Now they come straight through to me and they say, I'd like to be on your mailing list. So we're getting the word out. People are learning that we're there. We're trying to provide a service. We give things as practical as an ACT review. And we give things that are as exotic as a course called Stories That Houses Tell.
Okay, and these classes are offered during the summer. Mr. Chatman mentioned that the National Youth Sports Program age group is from 10 to 16. What about your classes? Are they targeted for any specific age group?
Well, what has happened, we go basically preschool right on through grade 12. But what we're finding is that people respond to us and they determine what we're doing. Our greatest response is in the grades 4 through 8. And we have, therefore, more classes in those areas or in those grade groups. But I think with time, we'll reach those outlying age groups as well. I know that we're getting a lot more calls on the preschool level.
Okay. Mr. Chapman, what is the schedule for the National Youth Sports Program? How is the project structured at Bishop State?
Well, the schedule for the National Youth Program is we start in the morning. We go from 8 until 2 o'clock. It's a 5-week program. And we start in the morning, we go from 8 o'clock, we give the kids a snack in the morning, give them, and they go through that variety of activities supported by enrichment, and we give them a luncheon too. And the program is supported by, is that what you asked?
Right.
As the program is supported by other enrichment type activity. We say, well, alcohol and drug abuse, career education, sex education, health education, and job-related activities in which we try to apprise the kids of in their
Okay, and to that question, you say it lasts for 5 weeks. When does it actually start?
The program begins on June the 19th, and it continues through July the 25th.
Okay, and Ms. Hoffman, when does your summer classes start? We need to get that cleared up.
Our summer classes will be July 7 to 18.
And Mr. Chatman, what about community participation, such as advisory councils and those?
Well, our program is, we have an advisory board established of various people from the business community, private and public sector. They are involved in this program, and they help us to solicit other resources for the program in addition to the funding that we receive from the National Collegiate Athletic Association. And some of the type of funding resources that they do provide for us, where they go out and get clothing or wearing apparel for those indigent people and provide transportation in addition to their other services, things that we do get the same. Right?
So you do have participation not only from the students, but a broad participation from the business community and the community as a whole?
Yes.
Okay. We're speaking with Ms. Susan Hoffman, who is director of the University of South Alabama Youth Program. She's with the School of Continuing Education. And Mr. Marcine Chatman, he's the Special Services Director at Bishop State Junior College, and he's also project administrator for the National Youth Sports Program, and we will return momentarily.
Since 1966, Mobile Community Action has been working towards eliminating the causes of poverty in Mobile and Washington counties. One way in which this is done is through the Energy Program, which offers weatherization assistance programs for low-income households, home energy assistance in paying heating and cooling costs for low-income families, and the Home Repair Program. For information on these and other services provided by Mobile Community Action, call 452-4801.
My Bobby can't keep up with the other kids. He needs special help. How can we get it?
Seek help from the Special Education Action Committee.
My child needed special services, and he received those special services and a teacher's aid too, thanks to the help of the Special Education Action Committee.
Seek help for your handicapped child. SEAC, the Special Education Action Committee, will show you how to get the education and training your child deserves under the law. Seek help. Call 478-1208.
Woo! Woo! Did you know that child care is one of the fastest growing areas of employment in the U.S. today? Do you like children and want a rewarding career? The University of South Alabama, with the South Alabama Institute, is recruiting people for their brand new 5-week child care training course and job placement service. And it's free. If you're between the ages of 17 and 21 and have a high school diploma or GED, call me at 431-6525.
Welcome back to Employment Outlook 86. I am Carnell Davis along with Ms. Brenda Ross, and we're talking with Mr. Marcine Chatman from the National Youth Sports Program and Ms. Susan Hoffman from the University of South Alabama Youth Program. Before we go back to the interview, and we have a couple of calls on the line, and we're going to get to those calls, Ms. Ross has very special information at this point.
If you are between the ages of 14 and 21 and want to apply for a summer job, applications for summer jobs through the Job Training Partnership Act's Summer Youth Employment Program are being accepted. To apply, you must be at least 14 years of age but not have reached your 22nd birthday by June 23rd. You can secure applications at the Job Training Partnership Act's Summer Youth Program Office located at the Dearborn Street YMCA at 321 North Warren Street. Students returning home from college can still apply. Please do not submit more than one application.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Ross. Also, for those of you who may be interested in working for the City of Mobile, the City of Mobile is accepting applications for information receptionists. This is public relations and routine clerical work and welcoming tourists to the City of Mobile. The minimum qualifications, high school graduate, and preferably a minimum of 1 year's experience in either tourism, promotion, public relations, or a closely related area. The salary is from $10,000 up to $15,000, and the closing date on this information specialist position is June the 5th. If you're interested, you should apply at the Mobile County Personnel Department. That's at 918 Government Street, and that position does close out Thursday, June the 5th. Let's go to the line and see if we can answer a couple of the callers. You're on Employment Outlook.
Yes, I'd like to ask Ms. Hoffman a question.
Okay.
I'd like to know what kind of response does she get from the parents and the kids about her summer youth program?
Okay, that's one I really enjoy answering because one of the cornerstones of the program is that parents are always welcome. I talk to a lot of parents. I really take what they tell me to heart, and I listen to their suggestions. They know they are always welcome to come to our classes, to visit, to see what their kids are doing. I think one of my most exciting moments was this past Saturday as I visited my last day of classes for the quarter. The drama kids were really having a marvelous time. I ushered a group of grandparents to the class so that they could watch their grandson do improvisations. It was just fun. The kids are enjoying it. The kids are getting into it. I'm getting nothing but positive feedback. I've had no complaints. I know that that's an unrealistic thing most of the time, but so far everybody's really excited and they're responding very positively to me.
Okay. Thank you for your call. Let's go to the other line. You're on Employment Outlook. Lost that caller. Okay. Mr. Chatman, getting back to the National Youth Sports Program, and we hope that that caller will call back. What are some of the activities, what are some of the sports that the children are exposed to during that 5-week period of time?
Well, in the National Youth Sports Program, different institutions have the option to offer several type programs that they would like. The SD Bishop States program will offer a variety of sports activities in basketball, volleyball, karate, dance, circuit training, and swimming. This type of program. These will be the activities that we will expose the kids to.
Okay, so it's a well-rounded format. And before we go to the line to get this caller, Ms. Hoffman, what are some of the classes that you are offering this summer? You mentioned the parents being involved. What are some of the other classes that you will offer?
We have very practical things like math classes, reading classes, typing classes. We have fun things like art classes, drama classes, origami. The class I mentioned, Stories That Houses Tell, a thing called the Anything course where they basically start the class with a telephone book. And they discover that using a telephone book you can find out many things that you need to know. And I'm excited. It's hard for me just to sit and list all the classes because we've grown so, but I think we've got practically everything you'd like to have.
Okay, let's go to the line again and see if I can get this caller. You're on Employment Outlook.
Okay, I just wanted to ask Ms. Hoffman how she chooses teachers and how does she know that they're doing a good job?
Okay, how do you find your teachers, Ms. Hoffman?
Okay. I think it's easier to answer, how do I know that they're doing a good job? I'm there a lot of the time. I'm pretty personal with my teachers. I'm pretty involved with them, and they know that they can talk to me, and I know that I can talk to them, and they expect me to come in and check their classes and see what's going on, see what's happening. Finding them, that's a challenge. I have some wonderful people in the educational community, in the university, and in the community at large who tell me about good teachers. And frequently, these teachers turn out to be very enthusiastic people who come into the classroom and do a wonderful job.
Okay, let's go back to the line again. You're on Employment Outlook.
Yes, I'm 14, and I was wondering, I have a friend named John Bear, and he got a job up at, his mom works at Spring Hill College, and so he got a job there. He's 14 also, and I was wondering, I went up there to try to get a job, and they said you have to be 16, so I guess his mom got him a job. But I was wondering, since I'm 14, what requirements do I need, like what papers to legally work, and, you know, am I old enough to work, and where could I get a job?
Okay, if you are 14, you can apply for a job through the Job Training Partnership Act Summer Youth Employment Program, the announcement that Ms. Ross just announced. And where is that office located, Ms. Ross?
That's at 321 North Warren Street, right here in Mobile.
At the Dearborn Street YMCA. And what you need to do is to go by there and pick up you an application form. And being 14, I think you do have to get a work permit, if I'm not mistaken. But when you go by the Dearborn Street YMCA, just ask them what you need as far as whether you need a work permit or whatever, and they can direct you from that point. That's at 321 North Warren Street, the Dearborn Street YMCA.
I was wondering also, do you know, would I need a Social Security card, and would I have to pay taxes?
Okay, you will need a Social Security card. As far as them taking out taxes on you, I don't know whether they will or not at that age, but Mr. Chatman, you might
That's
be...
dependent upon the amount of income.
Depending upon how much you earn. If you earn a lot of money this summer, you'll have to pay taxes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks for
Joy
calling.
Johnson.
Okay. We're talking with Mr. Marcine Chatman with the National Youth Sports Program, Ms. Susan Hoffman from the University of South Alabama Youth Program, and we will return momentarily.
Since 1966, Mobile Community Action has been working towards eliminating the causes of poverty in Mobile and Washington counties. One way in which this is done is through the Energy Program, which offers weatherization assistance programs for low-income households, home energy assistance in paying heating and cooling costs for low-income families, and the Home Repair Program. For information on these and other services provided by Mobile Community Action, call 452-4801.
My Bobby can't keep up with the other kids. He needs special help. How can we get it?
Seek help from the Special Education Action Committee.
My child needed special services, and he received those special services, and a teacher's aide too, thanks to the help of the Special Education Action Committee.
Seek help for your handicapped child. SEAC, the Special Education Action Committee, will show you how to get the education and training your child deserves under the law. Seek help. Call 478-1208.
Welcome back to Employment Outlook 86. I'm Carnell Davis, along with Brenda Ross, and we're talking with Mr. Marcine Chatman with the National Youth Sports Program and Ms. Susan Hoffman with the University of South Alabama Youth Program. We have a couple of callers on the line, but we have another announcement concerning an activity for young people here in Mobile during the summer.
This summer, the Mobile Public Library is offering a summer reading program for children. The library has planned a wide variety of programs, events, and activities to catch a child's imagination and is inviting children to discover the joys of reading. Registration for the summer reading program begins June 2nd, and the first programs are scheduled for June 14th. This program is for all ages and is for children who can read and for those who cannot. For more information, call the Mobile Public Library branch nearest you.
Right, there seems to be quite quite a number of activities for young people in the community, and we hope that you will call the library. It sounds like a very interesting program for young people. We have a couple of callers on the line, but before we go to the line, Mr. Chatman, the enrichment portion of the National Youth Sports Program, what is the enrichment portion of this project, and how is it structured, and why is it stressed?
Well, the enrichment aspect of this program, this is a supportive act. In addition to the sports activities that we have, we try to get a well-balanced program for the kids, and we have what is called alcohol and drug abuse, sex education, career education, health and nutrition, and we also deal with career and job responsibilities in this.
So the young people are not only exposed to the various sports and athletics, but they also receive counseling from other people.
Yes, in fact, we utilize the different resources from the different aspects of our community. Different people will come in and act as resource people.
Okay, and before we go to the line, how can a person apply for the National Youth Sports Program before we go to the line?
Well, all you need to apply is come by Caldwell Building, room 219, and pick up an application. Application forms there can be at Bishop State.
At Bishop State Junior College?
Bishop State Junior College.
Okay, Ms. Hoffman, how would a person apply for your particular project?
To come in and register, you mean for a class?
Right.
How would they find out? They can call me at the University of South Alabama. My number is 460-6047. I'll be happy to put you on a mailing list and send you a flyer or talk to you about what we have this summer.
Is that one of your brochures there?
I've got one.
Okay, okay, let's go to the line. You're on Employment Outlook.
A few minutes ago, you said that there was a math class, and my son Billy McLeod, I was just wondering, well, because he's LD, and I was wondering if y'all had a special teacher.
The classes that we have are for all kids. They're for the average child. We haven't specifically dealt with LD children yet. I'd like to. I've talked with people about that. The program at this point does not encompass that. We have all kids in the program who are capable of doing just average things.
Would he get special attention?
He would, but I would not encourage him at this point to come into a class where he would be with children that would be moving along at an average rate and who do not have a learning disability.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for your call. Let's take another caller. You're on Employment Outlook. You're on Employment Outlook.
Yes, I'd like to ask a question in reference to the employment for the youth in our particular community.
Okay.
I think our city and county government has failed as a whole to propagate or come about programs to involve our youth. And indeed, our youth is the backbone of our society here in Mobile, in our surrounding areas. I think that we have a great responsibility as to let this input from our youth in the programs that they could circumvent, bring these kids to where they could do something. And I have really been disappointed with our city, our state, and our county governments for closing the door on our youth. And I do mean all of our youth. And I tell you, we have such a great range of potential with these young kids, with ideas and things to bring forward in our communities and close up gaps between all these things of the past and these children. I'm just impressed with the kids nowadays.
Okay, right. Well, I'll agree.
I just can't get over the lack of input on the state level, the county level, and the city level.
Okay.
These damn people have failed.
Okay, thank you for your call, and let me respond to that.
Thank you.
Thank you. One thing that you might want to do is to contact your city commissioner, your county commissioner, contact the Mobile Consortium, the Private Industry Council. That's one of the reasons why we wanted to develop this show tonight, to try to add a little light to some of the projects that are ongoing. South Alabama is doing a tremendous job, as well as Bishop State. But we need to talk to our representatives a little bit more and be a little bit more observant as far as the various projects that do go on in the community, and maybe we can solve some of these problems. We would like to remind you to stay tuned for the next show that follows us, WAP Lab, Mr. Ron Reams, and his topic tonight, his guest tonight is Mr. Charlie Graddick, and he's a Democratic candidate for governor. And you might even want to ask Mr. Graddick what his programs are for young people coming up. I'm sure he's going to have a good response for that. And let's go back to the line and see if we can answer one more call here. You're on Employment Outlook.
Yes, you may have already answered this, but I was wondering if Ms. Hoffman would tell me what the charges would be for the program she has.
Okay, thank you for your call, and that's going to be very briefly, Ms. Hoffman. We're running out of time.
Okay, it depends on the class. I put them together as cheaply as I can. I pay my instructors and I pay for whatever equipment we need. Usually it runs about $3 per contact hour, so 2 weeks, 10 hours would be $30 for a class.
Okay, our time has run short. We would like to thank Mr. Marcine Chatman from the National Youth Sports Program at Bishop State Junior College, Ms. Susan Hoffman from the University of South Alabama Youth Program, School of Continuing Education, and Ms. Brenda Ross for the information. And also, if there are any business people listening in, if you can offer a young person a job this summer, by all means do so. And we would like to remind each of you, as we do each week, that locating a job in today's labor market requires evaluation, planning, and you must have correct information. Until next week, this has been Carnell Davis with Employment Outlook 86. Key is knowing oneself and studying and preparing. And one way that a person, a job applicant, can improve their interviewing skills is really through practice. You can practice with a brother or a sister or a relative or a husband, or if you don't have anyone to practice with, you can practice in the mirror. Just get in the mirror, ask yourself certain questions and respond. If you know you're deficient in certain areas, then it's up to you as an individual to improve on that.
I've heard in different classes and just in general that eye contact is very important during the interview. Why is eye contact so important?
This eye contact theory goes back to just generally having a conversation with a person. There's an old stereotype that says that if a person can't look at you when they're talking, that either the person doesn't know what they're talking about or they may not be confident in what they're talking about. And in some cases, people will say a person is not being totally honest if you can't look at a person when you're talking to them. So during the interview, we encourage people to be confident and give eye contact. And when we say eye contact, we don't mean just staring at a person, but just as if you're holding a regular conversation, but you must be able to talk to people and look at them when you're discussing your qualifications.
Often during an interview, before it even begins, the interviewer may ask you to tell him something about yourself. What type of response is the interviewer looking for when he asks you this question?
Normally, professional interviewers, going back to what I mentioned about them realizing that a person will be nervous, that question, tell me something about yourself at the beginning of the interview, is more like an icebreaker. It's designed to make a person feel at ease, because if there's one person or one subject that each of us should be able to talk about, it will be ourselves. They're looking to hear how you communicate, and also just to relax you and give you a chance to talk about a subject that you should talk at ease about. The key to that particular question is to make sure that whatever you do discuss, that is something positive, and that you don't bring up any negative information or any information that could lead to questions that could eliminate you during the job interview. You can talk about your hobbies, you can talk about maybe where you went to school, or you can even bring up your skills briefly in your educational background. But the key is to try to stay positive and not bring up anything negative that will more or less boomerang at you later on during the interview. Ms. Singleton, we are discussing the employment interview, and we do have some additional job information later, and we will return after this break.
Vince, get up. Safety belt test at 9. Hurry.
Not another windshield taste test. Count me out.
What? The old pro backing down from a motorhome?
Nothing like that. I'm just tired of trying to convince people to wear safety belts. No one's listening.
Safety belt saved Barbara Mandrell.
You're right. Someone listen. Let's hit the road.
You hungry, partner?
Let's do some donuts on the way in.
Good idea.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Since 1966, Mobile Community Action has been working towards eliminating the causes of poverty in Mobile and Washington counties. One way in which this is done is through the Energy Program, which offers weatherization assistance programs for low-income households, home energy assistance in paying heating and cooling costs for low-income families, and the Home Repair Program. For information on these and other services provided by Mobile Community Action, call 452-4801.
Welcome back to Employment Outlook 86. I'm Carnell Davis, Employment and Training Director for Mobile Community Action, along with Ms. Lisa Singleton, my assistant at Community Action, and also my co-host tonight on Employment Outlook 86. And we're discussing the employment interview and the important role it plays in personnel selection. Before we go back to the discussion, we do have some very important job announcements for those of you who are in the job market. The University of South Alabama, located in West Mobile, has several jobs open on their latest position vacancy bulletin dated July 2nd. To apply, you should apply at the